Hello, everybody. Boy, I've missed you guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my age group. God forbid. Yeah, you're talking to a hippie. Wicked is my old army nickname, and it bloomin' stuck. Literally, everybody, for one reason or another, believes I should have that wicked. So I'm called Wicked. Never really liked it, but it was funny when it was first done. That's another story. Published author, Army veteran, mother of one, grandmother of two. One of them's also an Army veteran. Yes, I'm gonna make this look good, babes. Let me throw a live chat up here today. Anybody feel lucky? I hope so. I'm still waiting for the Hueys to land. So, some Black Hawks. I don't know. Maybe they're more too. Excuse me. And here we are. We've arrived at Wednesday. I actually retired. And I'd like to know how I managed to hold a couple of jobs, college, raise a kid, and still have had more time doing that than I do now that I'm flipping retired. I've got three dresses I have to alter. All three are ball gowns. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. And I mean, I've got dozens of gowns. It's not that. It's just these are my new ones, and they're a bit too long. I'm not that big of a girl. Well, mostly. I swear to God, I weighed 100, maybe 100 pounds my entire life. And I had a severe tragedy happen, and I couldn't be moved for a year, technically. And I gained weight. I'm not a young woman anymore. I had no exercise. So, oops, there it went. Well, my scarf anyway. So it's like, okay, I gained a couple of pounds. And suddenly my family is going, you should take Moderna. You should do this. And I was like, you're in your 40s. You're still trying to do push ups. It doesn't last long. I did this until my 60s. Screw you. I just got on my feet. I'm happy I'm walking. And I should lose weight though, and it would be easier for me. And so I'm like, okay, the one meal a day I'm eating has got to be way over the tonnage. Ladies, we are who we are. And I'm saying at this age, and I bought a whole new wardrobe because I was always in a, you know, bedridden basically. And if I could get up and did get up, of course, I loved it because every once in a while I got to go to Kroger and they had those little shelf things. I can hear my phone. I'm just not sure where. Oh yeah, where I sat it. Oh, and there it went. Okay, good. My husband knows that I'm on the air, but I'm not sure about everybody else. I keep saying, oh, my mic is right. One of my great guys, my bestie friends that I miss so much, they're down below making it. I'm here in Augusta. This is why I like this. I mean, why are you doing that? None of them will come on. They're all cowards. Yes, you heard me. They're cowards. Bring it. Test me. Come on. it's just, it's such a wonderful way to be able to learn, laugh, touch up with other people. For that matter, it's a great way for me to stay in touch with the family. I'm the last remaining survivor of my family, but my husband has an extended family. He has two brothers and a sister that's still with us, and various nieces, nephews, uncles. I have me, my son, my grandson, my granddaughter. That's it. It's not confusing, and reunions are pretty cool. Client of my son. I can't travel very well anymore. I couldn't before because I have some deterioration on some things on my back, and it's making it where I can't travel very long. And that's part of the way I'm like laying down. And who wants to travel like 300 miles and then have to get a hotel? It's just silly. And my husband went and bought, trying to get my earphones to work right. They're just messing with me. Yes, I wear all the hats, sound, makeup. See if we can. It's still, yeah, still having some trouble with it. We spent half the time playing around with this thing. And I really hate that when it does this. And I can't tell. Here we go. I, I'm good. Aren't I good? I can't tell until I actually watch these back. I give it to you right now. All my guys know me. Thanks for coming. Thanks for subscribing. Love you all. This is my second channel. The first one was put on pause when I was hurt. And when I went back on, I had only been began to walk at I put it in the first one. And I had no trouble getting it in. And then I was a little bit better off, after some physical therapy. And so I put another one in. But that one started fighting me, and after that, I had such trouble with my channel that I said, I didn't close it yet. So it's still open if you want to get it. It's Lady Hippy at the Bar. And this is my second channel, which is Wicked Lady Hippy at the Bar Live. Yeah, don't ask. So it'll take me there. So there's a bit of difference. But I began to dress different because it was difficult. It was impossible to wear pants of any kind. And it just couldn't be done. And so I began to buy the long dresses. We called them maxi dresses in my day, and I like the A line, so that it cinches you, or you have a belt. So I go belt up here. Yes, it's crooked boots on there. So crooked. Which is the fun with these things. They actually come with belts, and I like to dress mine up. Try one more time. Yeah, there we go. Good. So yeah, I switched a little bit. These are not expensive. They're actually I spent less than I did if I'd have bought a pair of jeans. Um, and I like them, and they're easy on, easy off. I wear them, at home to clean the house. I can wear them to Walmart to go shopping or Kroger, and I'm finally off the cripple cart. I can walk now. I love Kroger's little cripple carts. Boy, I almost want to take it out to the highway. It's like, oh, well, this guy go. It had some bump to it. I made some things fun because otherwise it was just, there wasn't much you could do. Now, when I'm on my podcast, and I'm live, so I do not edit unless I'm asked to by YouTube. If you want to see any videos, tell me, I'll drop them in. Ordinarily, I don't go off with any videos. I'm it. And whoever wants to talk to me or comment or what we want to talk about, anything. And I'm a talker. And so one of my friends and all that, they ask me, how do you do that? Oh, you can see Geneva behind me. She's all lace. You might have to zoom in. She's all lace. And I had just finished washing her. A 97-year-old woman made that for me. And I called her Geneva after my mom because she had one almost identical. And her and the aunts had made it, and it's beautiful. I've had it for like 30 years. When I said to my husband, that my mom made one, it's almost identical. He said, I want this one. And unfortunately, that was the last one that the young lady made. She was 97. And so I kept going and getting other things, but she passed tragically a few months after that. And we miss her still. Here in Augusta now, we don't. We did go to North Carolina. I like going to Cherokee and do some gambling and run by the reservation. I like to do that. And I like the Scottish Rites Festival. Shocker of shockers, my son got me the DNA kit because I'm adopted, and that meant he didn't quite know who he was except on his bloodline, biological father. He was never a father, but yeah. That. So, yeah, we did that, and I told them all. They all kept saying I was Native American. My sister, she was my true blood sister. She was, and she's passed. Blessing. And in any event, they all said, you're Native American because the blood family. I don't like that term, but anyway, the biological family reached out when I was 30. I was just a civilian worker then, a civil servant, and I had like two big things going because I also managed a hotel 3 days a week. I had the bar, the restaurant. I mean, it's a nice one. And so I ran that 3 days a week as a manager. And then, of course, I ran whatever department I was running in civil service. So I've been everywhere. My son was born in Heidelberg. We can talk about everything. I love that fact that's what I love this new medium for. I hope that others, even if you don't join me or even if you don't enjoy the content, and I really hope you do enjoy it, I'm looking to see because I like to leave the channel on the music channel so that maybe I hear it, but nobody else can because they frown on that. I didn't realize until it had leaked over. I always like to hear that when I'm on and when I'm busy. And God knows I'm busy. I fell out yesterday. I apologize. And I am jumping just for thing to thing. Lord only knows how anybody could pin me down. I said, I got up and I was like, I got the plague again. What? I was horrible. I felt awful. And I had felt awful starting like 4 a.m. And you're thinking, oh, this is going to pass. You're just going to pass. I've taken the medications that can, you know, take care of the symptoms. And of course, you don't get any more sleep. I'm not that young, as I pointed out. No, don't say it. Just give me nice. Come on, I'll buy you a drink. Big bar. Got a Remington bar. The big mirror on the other side. Well, we'll put it this way. He thought he was buying a small bar. We're buying a new small bar. They called me and showed me the picture, and we had to get rid of everything. I had to get a pod, put it outside, put the bar in the house, and decorate around the bar. It's that big. Love this thing. We grab different kinds of alcohol that we see. Have you seen that one? No. And both of us are Army veterans, so we've seen more than most have. And like I said, we got in that RV, so I have no excuse to travel. He says, you can just go to sleep. Oh God. So I'm kind of tired. I didn't think I would be. This is the longest I've stayed in any place in my entire life. So it's interesting to me to find that, when I wake up, I was like, it's still Augusta? By now, I thought I would have just jumped ship. I would spend 2 to 8 years, yeah, in one place, maybe and that was only because of my son and my stepdaughter too. Stay in the same, high schools and graduate, go to dances, do all that. So in those formative years, about 5 years on the one side, and then I'd move it. He had then the rest of it, for high school, and I had slowed down by then. I didn't slow down until he was in middle school. I couldn't. Somebody got to buy the bacon. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. And so that, yes. Back to the who I am thing. You all know you've seen me before. Most of you, if you haven't, you can guess. I am, of course, British lineage, British, Scottish, and Irish. It's all the same thing. I'm British with the red hair and hazel eyes. I couldn't miss. It's Irish, definitely. I thought would be the most. It was not. Neither was Scottish. British. I'm almost pure British, which is okay. I'm an American, but I'm of British descent. I love the Brits. I love the Queen. Tore me up. Princess Diana tore me up. I still honor her memory and Queen Elizabeth II's memory. I worry for King Charles III. I'm not saying I care much for him after what was going on with Lady Diana, but it's not my business and I don't judge. I try not to. And so I worry for him, and I decidedly worry for William and Kate and the children. I really worry for Kate. We've been through the cancer things. Both myself and my husband he had stage 4 throat cancer. We had hospice here, and he made it. He got to ring the bell. He cleared. I don't know how. None of us know how you're not supposed to be able to come back from a 4 stage. You would think it would be like stage 1, that'd be the worst, but it's not. It climbs up. And he managed it. There goes the thing again. I have it on the wrong ear, so when I gesture, I'll hit the stupid thing. In any event, we've gotten through all of that stuff. So I'm surprised I'm here, but at the same time, when I look at all that's going on, and I've also got friends that go, "Why are you always in black?" And like I said, I changed my style a tad. I now can wear pants if I want to. Jeans, the tight legged jeans, I can wear them with my boots, and I'll wear them 2 or 3 hours to go to the store if it's raining or something. I did that twice. Otherwise, I stick with trousers because they're roomier, and it's difficult. The right leg is was very, very badly torn up, and so I'm all put together with tinfoil and duct tape. It's the sound. I'm allowed to have these. I quit smoking about 7 years ago. I quit smoking. I had to. Doctors had a fit. My son had a fit. My husband just said to you, "You just go ahead." He didn't have a fit. He's always very cool. He never. He's always like, how would you put it? The calm to my storm is how I would put that. He's always calm. Drives me crazy. It's like, get pissed about something. And then when he does get pissed about something, I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? You acted like a too. My son calls that being married too long. And he may have a point. I fidget a lot, folks. Those who know me know I fidget. And I try not to be too loud or what have you. Which is why I wear these silly headphones. I've seen others that could go in your ears, can't stand anything inside my ears, can't stand it. And trying different ideas. And, the clip, I don't like any of them. They don't quite give me the sound that the earphones do. So I end up, I have to wear the, my husband calls them my tiaras. So I have to wear something so that the thing will stay where it's supposed to. So sorry about that. I'm not dressed to run around or impress. Sorry about that too. This is the way I look every day, or at least I try to. It's like I saw one a woman who was 72 years old. She's still a runway model, and I get questions all the time. How old are you? Like, it's a state secret. Yeah. Good luck finding that out. I signed an NDA. I signed me a real good non-disclosure. So, mm, I like my whiskey on the rocks. Ooh, mm. My husband buys me wicked whiskey fireballs. He knows I love these Lawyer Prime bottles. I have quite a collection. And so he brings me these. And so I like my whiskey on the rocks. And I kept putting it into one of the shot. We have just a million shot glasses. And I was, using the shot glasses. And the ice would melt before hardly I had any alcohol in it. And so I'm drinking water. I don't like Georgia water. It's going to be mixed with something strong. So finally I figured to go back to a regular, one of our regular bar classes. So that's what that's all about. I say this because my sister, brother, mother, well, not mother, sister, brother, father, uncle, tons, passed away due to cirrhosis of the liver. They all drank too much. And considering the way my 20s and 30s were, you'd think I would have had the same thing because I partied like I had no tomorrow, and I didn't think I did. My group, and that's something else I like to mention, I'm a hippie. I'm proud of being a hippie. We were for peace, love, and rock and roll, for God's sakes. We didn't want nobody to get hurt. And we've all been astounded at the fact that we stepped back from saying, "Hey, that's wrong." That's like a hard no. Don't do that. To, oh my God, if they come after me for saying something, I won't have food. I won't be able to get my grandbaby this or, oh, sorry, things like that. And this has been long before this took up. And now I don't think most people understand that we are on television basically. We're just on for whatever three-letter team is checking on us, or the cloud. I don't even know how that works. Hey, Elon, love you, doll. So yeah, you yet they go up and they steal port shit. I love the ones that are bombs and goes off and they're like purple and pink and it's on their car and it's on them, and yet they all piss off calling the cops going, they got to be arrested. Look what they did in my car. I'm like, you can't make that shit up, man. I love the little shorts that they're doing with Donnie. I call him Donnie. I love him. Hey, Mr. Trump, President Trump, and I adore him. And I just love how he's not a politician. So what you get is what you get, and that is very very nice to see. I don't know about the rest of us hippies, but for me, that's what and they wanted to group me into what was it, the 50 something, was it? I forget what that is. In any event, I'm like, no, no, by 6 months or whatever it was, 4 months, no, baby boomer. That's the term. Makes me mad when somebody says that to me. I slap you. I slap you so hard, Google will have to look for you for a month. Don't you say that to me? I ain't that all. And of course, I am. So we're here at my bar, I like talking about as you see anything and everything all the time. Now, if that makes me a terrorist, because that's what they called me. I'm an Army veteran. We were the first company of women to train with the men as regular Army. When we got in that airplane, we were going to Fort McClellan, Alabama, to a WAC Corps. That's the Women's Auxiliary Corps. If you've seen anything from that era, you would know that they had WAFs, they had waves, they had and wax. That was the female corps, which is totally different than the men's. It's a couple of weeks only, and I was also a nurse and a typist. I was good. I was young. And so I had a lot of rank. I didn't realize that wasn't a good thing. When I got them, the other one with rank, everybody else is called a trainee. They don't have one chevron. I have three. 5'2", I might weigh 90 pounds. And it cracks me up. I've been up for 3 days, going on the fourth day. We just gotten to where we're going to be billeted. And damn it. And the the drill sergeant says, "Bullock, you don't have a record and you're from Chicago?" I was like, "Yeah, sir, I tried. I tried not to do that." And I was laughing because I was that tired. And when you get so tired, you just break up. And he says, "Oh, okay, well, from now on, you're wicked." And I just fell out. All the girls fell out laughing, and it kind of crept over, and the men were looking because we were Bravo 3-2. So you had Charlie, you had Delta, in other words. Um, we were just like them. We trained with them. We did not sleep with them, although some of us might have wanted to. However, by that 6 weeks, yeah, we were young. But if they had to do, 100 push-ups and so forth, we did. If we had to be blindfolded to put that M16 back together after we cleaned it, we were. And they gave us a choice. You don't have to stay because you were not told that you were going to go into the regular army. You're a soldier. You're not just a woman now. The woman's gone. That part's gone. Same with the men. You guys are just soldiers. You don't question an order and do what you do. And that's the bottom line. And you can take it or leave it. Basically, I mean, you're not going to get if you have bad discharge on it. And I was like, ladies, that case, we'll give you a minute. And they went off and had some coffee, which we were all dying for. And I'm like, ladies, how about this? Since I was in charge of the damn thing, you can bend. But the first one of you that breaks, I'm going to kill personally. I'm this little, I'm 17. I turned 18 right after boot camp. My mother signed for me to come in. So I'm a little smart ass that's younger than freaking everybody. And I'm way short. I got no weight to me. But I was a loudmouth from Chicago. I mean, my mouth must have overloaded my ass the whole time I was there. Private Benjamin, Goldie Hawn has my part. It's close. It's not it, but it gives you an idea. I have a stepson. He went. I was so proud of him. And my grandson. They both went Army. My grandson said it was because of grandma. I pushed him into ROTC. I did all that. And it was, if grandma could wear Army boots and she wants me to, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go see the world. And he did. He trained in Oklahoma, did his stint, Georgia, had some time here. And then he was off to Korea. And he was home from Korea when he TS'd out, and he was now a veteran. I don't blame him a bit. It's very different than when I was in the 70s. It was just after Vietnam. And that was the other thing that cracked me up that night when we were getting our billets. He called me wicked, and a damn thing stuck. And he said, we're all airborne rangers. And we jump on airplanes and kill people. So, and it just, the whole thing cracked me up because I'm like, he's got us teenage women. And he's a Vietnam airborne ranger who jumps out of helicopters and kills folks. I died laughing. I mean, I'm on the ground laughing. I can't stop laughing. My stomach's hurting. I couldn't laugh. Everybody was laughing. Everybody heard that one. And so then he found out I was a secretary nurse already trained. I didn't even have to be there except that you had to go through boot camp. And in particular, in this time, you're regular Army. So they gave me a weapon, gave me a grenade. I handed it back, said, no, I was the last one called for in softball. You don't want to have that. Run. They love me. So I ended up at Fort Sam Houston, Texas, and ran the nursing division there. And this is where most people are sent. This is their medical training part, their stint. Just as a medic or a doctor or nurse, depending which was going on. My other step grandson, Eli, had heard the stories from me and had asked questions, and I had answered them. And Fort Sam Houston was the place I just loved the best. And I kept returning to San Antonio. And my son, who was born in Heidelberg, Germany, when people ask where he was born, he says San Antonio. So, and he spent a lot of time in San Antonio. That's where he wanted to be. And so I just worked as civil servant there at Fort Sam, and I loved it. But my husband was from here, my second husband. The first one wasn't a husband, and I had to divorce him myself, fire three attorneys. I should write a book, another book that would be helpful for a lot of people. These things. It didn't go out. So, in any event, you get the idea of my background. It's been crazy. Again, published author. There's a reason. But so I'm British. My husband actually is a Native American, and he's what I call a card carrying Native American. He's registered with the Indian Bureau in Washington, D.C., and he has a little card. And he's a Native Creek American chief on the chieftain line. And we had to pull back. You have to resign to start you to the younger ones because you're working, already 60 hours, 70 hours a week. And the one day you've got off, you're out at a school performing something that would have been taking place in 1800s. So it was a lot of fun. I helped too. At that time, I didn't even know. I knew, but they kept saying I was a Native American. So I'm out there in Native American dress. So, and I still would today. I go to the Scots Rites Festival and I wear I wear Scottish clothes. Can't get my husband in a kilt, but I love kilts and the men in kilts. I might be old ladies, but I am not deaf, dumb, blind, and thank God stupid. Where do you think I go? The Guinness, I can get anywhere. Gotta get out at my age. Get out and run around. It taught me something that horrible accident did on how fast your life can change. I was of the opinion somebody should drive me to Oregon so I could off myself easy enough instead of waiting for a year to see if it all would work again. I don't want to be one of those people in a hospital going, on the suction, breathing for me and waiting 18 months for me to go ahead and be unplugged anyway. Yeah, it's just another adventure to me. I've never been frightened. I've died three times, but so that's, I mean, I have the strips from the EKGs and could describe what they were doing. It was very strange. All three times I saw my mother, and she said, we love you, but you got to go back. Oh, what? I had pneumonia twice, and both lungs were full, and so I was drowning. And the first time, they gave me back then it was called Tylenol One. I don't know what they call it now. I can't remember. Oh, Lortab. It's Tylenol and codeine, I think. In any event, yeah, they gave me those. I had an abscessed tooth pulled, and they said you don't have to go back to work today. So I had gone to the barracks. Well, I took one, and I felt bad. I just felt bad about not being at work, and so I went on over. It was only a couple of blocks away from where I was billeted. And so, I left there and you could hop a bus, but I like the walk. So I got there and I got to my office. I had a huge office because I worked for 12 doctors. So I had, material everywhere. There were days I'd work 10, 12 hours. Back then we had to translate what the doctor said. And we had to get the tests ready for the students and so forth. It was one hell of a job. But I had a team. I mean, and they were doing a good job when I got there. But I was the one that I was the boss, so I felt I should be there. Back in those days, you couldn't just Zoom call, and I kept feeling worse and worse. And suddenly, I just couldn't breathe. And by then, it had taken about probably 30 minutes, you know. And luckily, I'd eaten just prior. And the head of the anesthesiology department, I walked up to him, I had this big sheet of stuff that I translated for him, and I handed it to him, and I was breathing hard, just trying to breathe, and fell, and he caught me, and he was screaming for, an ambu bag back then, it would is put over your face so they could squeeze it, and you would get air. And so I mean, I had a pulse and everything, I just couldn't breathe. It was like I was paralyzed. And thank God the pills were in my pocket. And I had been there a couple of years, and we knew it was very informal. And he was, "What is it, Wanda? What did they give you?" Because he knew I had an abscessed tooth removed. And I, you know, pointed to my pocket. He got it out. And she's an anaphylactic shot. And give me an epi-" And so he knew, and I knew too what I needed as soon as they said that. So that I don't think that I think that was before EpiPens, but that would have taken care of it. But instead, they got to run me across this parking lot and then these lawns because Brook Army Medical Center is pretty much attached. It's just got the space between. So they had to run me there in order to get the epinephrine, and it hit me with that. That's what's in an EpiPen, an epinephrine. And but before they could get me there, I couldn't breathe enough. The ambu bag, I don't know, maybe it stopped working. I don't know. I just left. And I thought it was so funny because I was looking down and my colonel was straddling me on top of the gurney and she's doing, this CPR. This is all very new back in the day. I taught it after that to the firemen, another book. And so here we go, I'm in and I knew I'd been hurting real bad. And, this was floating. It felt good. I wasn't in pain. And because the chest thing was just awful pain. It shut your chest down. It hurts like hell. And I wasn't but 18 by then. So the first time I did it was 18. So I love to talk about stuff like that. Surely there's more of us that's happened to. 3 days later, I'm back at work. Have a son when I'm in Germany. 3 days later, I'm out with an M16, making sure nobody's breaking in. Loved it. Everywhere I went, I took my kid. And we had a great billiard hall in San Antonio, and you grab a couple of pitchers of beer, and you had like 100 pool tables. So you grab a pool table for the night. I think it was like $20 for the night. You keep it for you. And my kid went. My kid's a good pool player. It's a stool and everything. Can't do that now. I can understand why. It's a lot different. It's very different. It's a pity to me. I spent every second with my kid. The only time I did was when I was on duty and I had other interests then. And during that time, his godmother would keep him. So I wasn't worried in any of that. I lucked up because I was a single mom for some years. My husband and I, we've been together over 30 years now, which is why he avoids me when I'm on air. He does not want to be on. So if anybody wants to talk about anything, as you can see, I can ramble on and on and on. And somebody say something like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I have no fucking idea. It's not for kids. You might sometimes that yeah. Sometimes the army shows up and I'm like, "Oh damn, did I say that?" Yeah, what's in there? Oh yes, alcohol. I saw the thing in Minnesota. I've been kind of watching, but I've been watching with more fun the Atlanta Fulton County bitch that put Donnie in jail and get a mug shot on. I'm sorry, President Trump. I call him Donnie. I swear to God. I've been wanting to know why the Somalians that have been convicted of this fraud, including taking suitcases of millions of dollars to fly to Dubai to send it to the other bad guys, because we got two terrorist organizations we're paying for. One of them, I understand, built a great underground better than the London. At tax dollars they were. You can't make that shit up. Come on. This is the politics side of this. So these guys are paying for another one over in Somalia. Some cartel, I don't know. Mexico is on fire when they're not dead and on fire. I don't know how that works. So it's in meltdown. People in the Americans, when you take a vacation, there are beautiful spots in America where you are safe. And we got people in Puerto Vallarta who are trying to get the flock out. don't go off the coast of Say the Carolinas or something. Don't investigate where a nice, safe place would be that you would have the same amenities and the same sunshine or close to it. Yes, there are. I would love to go back to Santorini. But when I saw that they had over 6,000 earthquakes in one day, I was not in a rush to go back. Do a little bit of work and find, what the hell's going on in these places. They're beautiful, I'm sure, but I would not want you. You couldn't pay me to be in Puerto Rico, Puerto Vallarta, uh, any of them right now. You could not pay me. When I was active duty, there were no goes. And Mexico, the whole state at one point was listed as a no go. So I mean, it didn't matter what you wanted to see over there. And if you're going to go to Teotihuacan, Mexico City. They built it on the top of Teotihuacan. Oh my God. Uh, I mean, that's an amazing thing. People don't seem to understand what kind of feat they're looking at. That was not just chisels and some dude with a chant. So, politics and archaeology. What have I missed? The Minnesota thing. Again, that's what I heard. We had alligator Alcatraz, as they were calling it. I call it Gator Gitmo. Don't you steal that. That's mine. Gator Gitmo. It's Gator Gitmo. I was like, why aren't they done at Gator Gitmo? I bet they'd be fucking talking out their ass. They'd be giving you 40 names. Let me out. Plus, that's what they deserve. Really don't deserve that. I have seen now that there are senators and I don't know who else from uh, Minnesota. I heard it this morning. My watch. I'm sorry. You can see it. There we go. And it's like a slinky. My husband got that for me for Valentine's, and it's such a beautiful watch. I can't seem to. There we go. That's kind of some of it. It's sapphire and diamond, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is, and I love the brace, but it's a pain at the same time. Sorry, I hit my screen there. The senators and so forth want Ilhan Omar's taxes done. They want them. They want the IRS to do their job. She wasn't worth nothing the year before. Then she was worth 30 million last year on her taxes. And somehow she's also put down that she had lived, even though she had divorced and remarried, but was still living with the first husband. And that you just can't make this shit up. And I'm like, why isn't she in jail? Why aren't all of them in jail? What are you talking about? If you breathe wrong in the U.S. and you've got an ID that says you're an American, you're in jail. But if you're anybody else and you're spitting in their face and telling them you don't have to have an ID, apparently that's just great. Stop doing that to my cops. I'm pissed off about it. You ain't supposed to do it. Well, get out of my fucking country. I love the ones. What the fuck? They're over here telling me what I should do with my country for my country. Why the fuck did you come here? Was my country better than yours? Oh, you bet your bippies. Or you wouldn't fucking be here because you could steal openly. You get all the fucking money from us stupid taxpayers and you don't have to blame and do a thing. And it looks to me as if 99% of the jails with all the assholes were turned loose. That's my little reel today. They may not let me air it. I never like to look to see if it made it because they don't like it when you tell the truth. This to me is social Woodstock. This to me is the 70s. It's the fucking 70s. I mean, I would love to be on several of the podcasts. I never got somebody sitting here with me and hey, hand me a pre-rolled and shit, drink with me. Even friends, if they're here and they're drinking with me, you can't see them on camera. They don't understand how I do it. So I'm asking y'all put something in here. This is my new channel. Again, the first one was suspended. I had some trouble with it. So this is my second channel. So please tell me you were here. Tell me what you didn't like, what you did like. Tell me why you had to sit through it. Was there a bet? And ladies, all of us, let's make this a good year. time. I said that to just the ladies for various reasons. Not that I don't love my gentlemen just as much. And I will also say that anytime I did do a podcast, that I would mention Charlie Kirk. And now I want to mention Lu Ming as well, who was murdered. This boy was so beautiful. He was an actor. He was a Chinese actor, a period Chinese actor. It was gorgeous. He sang like a songbird. He was sweet. He was kind. He was wonderful. He was loving. He was murdered by his own friends, people he trusted. And he was tortured for a week before he was murdered, if you haven't caught that story. And I'm one of those that love to watch the Chinese movies, the period Chinese movies, where the clothes alone or something. And I wonder if I lived during that time also with the medieval, because I dressed like that too. Another book. So I try to mention their names at least once during the broadcast because I don't want them forgotten. They erased where Charlie Kirk was massacred on the landscape of that college, like it never happened. And the reason it was explained was it was a biohazard. There's nothing there. That says the young man gave his life, and the only thing he did was talk to people. He didn't look it up on a phone. He didn't have a book. He didn't have a team behind him telling him what. You asked that man the question. He answered it and said, "Prove me wrong." And I adored that boy. I did not know he had a podcast. I did not know he had a family. I didn't even know he was political and was working with Donald Trump. When I saw Donnie on the podcast, I thought he was funny as hell. I don't think people are catching on. He's got this really dry wit. He's funny as shit. When he was on the podcast, dude, I laughed most of the time he was on them. And he's got no filters, and I love that about him. You don't need you want to have open, honest government. You got to get somebody like Donnie. And I love it. I love it. I mean, he's making a ball there. I love, love it. You know, the Gulf of America. I did a dance, and I don't do that much on this live. You're kidding me. I loved seeing, it would have been a fly on the wall to see her find out there was a female VP. But she was at Jimmy Carter's funeral. May his memory be a blessing. Amen. She was at his funeral, and somebody said something about it's now the Gulf of America. She lost it. She did the same thing I did when I heard it. I laughed till I fell down. I still think it's funny as shit. And it's exactly the same amount of coastline, 7,500. So it's 7,500 miles on their side, 7,500 miles on our side. He said they've had it like 700 years. It's our turn. Oh, Donnie. I love Donnie. I have liked him actually for some time as a businessman. And I saw him when he was on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That actor, though, when he slapped Chris Rock like he did, who was his friend, who hadn't done anything to him or to his wife. And if he had, it could have been taken care of some other way, I'm sure. But I will never, ever again watch Smith ever in anything, which really pissed me off because I like the MIB movies. But no, he crossed many lines. He didn't just cross one line. For one thing, Chris Rock took it. Somebody would have had to peel me off. I'd have been beating his head into the floor. You're kidding me. And Chris just took it and finished up. He's that good and left and told them not to arrest him. No, I'd have had him pepper sprayed, tased out, done shot him in the knee. Shot her hair for just fun. She got a mustache. Yeah, but they front on that shit. I kid. But yeah, that was sick. And it's like Joe Rogan. Love you, Joe. I'll never forget what happened to our friend on this radio. I don't like to say names because I'm never sure if I can. But I love your show. But unfortunately, guys, this is it. You get me, and that's the whole thing. There are a couple more that are like me. They talk about themselves, and I end up doing so inadvertently. But I wanted to talk about the paranormal. I wanted to talk about the political. I wanted to talk about the religious. And by the way, how do you realize which religion is the right religion? Because Jesus Christ, there's a lot of Christians and Catholics, and I'm not kissing a ring. In any event, you've got this Messiah, you've got all of that, and I too believe Jesus is real, but that's another story. He did die 3 times. So, yeah, you go talk to them too, apparently. It's just, it's, don't ask. I'm going to write some books. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to go over at some point, everybody. So, what is wrong with everybody? Why is our country being thrown in under the bus for decades? Weekend at Bernie's, for God's sake, should never have happened. And as soon as it started, it should have been stopped. So why are the politicians all scared shitless? Now, my father was a moonshine runner. My adopted father, he was World War II Navy. He was actually at Pearl Harbor, but he wasn't on a ship, and that's all he would say. My uncle too, they served together on that ship, and they would not talk about it. They would not talk about it. And they would, if it came up even on the news, they would tear up and walk out and leave the room. So this was a horrific thing for those of you who say that the Jews weren't killed. There was 6 million, and visit Auschwitz, visit the crematoriums, and after you get done with that, go into DC and see the what do they call? Can't even think of it. I'm so angry. Um, the yeah, the museum. I couldn't find the word, for heaven's sake. Sorry. And then the rooms of nothing but baby shoes, the rooms of nothing but eyeglasses, the rooms of nothing but adult shoes, the rooms of gold teeth, the rooms of their hair made into pillows, made into candle, the wax from the uh, I don't know what you would want to call it, but where they burned them. If you visit Auschwitz today, even I think you will still smell that smell, the smell of death. And when I went, you could smell death 30, 40 miles away. You could smell death. And when you got there, every step I took, I was weeping that mankind could do this. So, for those of you who are dumb fucks, go back to school or get your fucking money back. Look it up on Google and educate your own ass before you turn around and let your lips overload your ass and say it didn't happen. Go do your homework first. I dare you. Bring it. Those are the kind of stories I like to talk about. I love a good debate. Give me a good debate every time. Mm. This is why they let me have this one. It goes out. So this is the only time I'm allowed to have it. So I also like to have my whiskey popper while I'm up here, because when I'm done with all of this, I have to actually go do some work. I was out yesterday. I meant to tell you. So I call it the plague. We get those about every other day at this age. And you go, what's wrong now? Hell if I know. It's the plague. It's just a plague. My doctor goes, "Oh, you have allergies," and I go, "Oh, I hit you in the face. Take a Tylenol." It's it's dangerous for me to go to work. Well, they won't hire me now because I'm retired, but I was going to volunteer there at the VA because they're always telling me I'm funny and I should come in there and talk to people. But I think that really wouldn't go down well because I'm all over the board, and if it's my generation at that, some of us say that we're baby boomers. Those of us who are at that cusp, and I had like 4 months of 50, I was born. So 4 months before they changed it over to the hippies. So I tend to be a hippie. I actually am a hippie as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't even a walk until I became a hippie. Peace, love, rock and roll, die young, look good. Yeah, that kind of, that ship sailed. It is, I'll tell you, it is, and I'm not the only one in my generation. I fidget, just deal with it. In my generation that is not startled that not only are we here, but oh my God, we're in our what? It's like we went to sleep and somebody hit a switch and we woke up and we lost 25 years. We're like, you look in the mirror and go, oh, yeah, 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 I can see that. Don't ask your closet. I have a habit of doing that. I've got to quit. You open the door and you go like, what's in here that'll make somebody over 60 look good? The door will fly out of your hands, slam shut. Change closets. I mean, don't get me started. Mm, that was the other thing. Oh, you used to have a candle in there. Uh, that's why I was saying I like the longer dresses and I do all that. People are so sweet. Like this ensemble. This one is completely blank. It's got one white panel like a V, and the dress is like the cupcake dress, so it flares out when you walk, and so that's why I like it. I don't think I paid less than $20 for it, but it's so cute. And it looks. As I said, you could go out to dinner in it. It wouldn't matter. It's great. You don't have to pay a lot of money for things. And I do a line of, I call it judging. They call it something else now. But I rate clothing and so forth, and I end up winning things, and this happens to be one of them. And so things like that. It didn't actually cost me anything but a little bit of my time. And so I'm enjoying that because, like I said, I redid the whole wardrobe, and I'm one of their preferred customers. If I even pop up on there, they're up there. What do you want? What do you need? So I get a lot of this stuff from Robert too. So right there. So, and Valentine's was really great. I bought him an eagle ring, and I got a whole bunch of stuff. I won't go into that. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's. I'm looking forward already to Halloween because like this year needs to just go as fast as the last one. Maybe if it goes fast enough, I won't feel that old. But yeah, your body is laughing at you as you just know. It's don't be stupid. Somebody should be yelling. And like I said, those senators, I don't think I finished that thought, are there to find out what was going on with the IRS involved and why they made so much money in one year. When apparently they have a company, but it's not a good company. It hasn't really made any money. Certainly not to the tune of $30 million. But now, Minnesota, they happen to have made some money. Have y'all seen those shorts where they're picking up their Maseratis and it's for the children, it's for the children, you racist, you racist, this is for the children. We have to pick up the children. How are we going to feed the children? You do strap them to the top of the Lamborghini. Like fucking car seats, too. How many can you get in the trunk? I love seeing those. The other ones I don't get that scare the bust out of me. My husband was a driver, long hauler, and he also taught driving. So he's been around like 50 years. He's done it that long. And I see now these Punjabis coming out with they invent their own VIN numbers for DOT. You can't do that. And apparently they don't wear anything but flip flops. And again, they're illegal when you're driving a semi. And I know all this because for 30 odd years with my husband, he mainly went back to truck driving and left being a mechanic. He's an ace mechanic as well. And I love that because my cars, he hands them to me. They're paid for, they're fixed. I'm good to go. I won't even look at the insurance. I hate insurance companies. I ain't never had a ticket in my life. Then spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and they ain't offered me a damn penny back yet. Same with the unemployment, you little fucks. I mean, we got your money now, and that is simply off the table. I love the Medicaid and Medicare too, unless you go with Humana or Blue Cross. Some insurance companies you can't get Medicare Part C. Well, that's the one that pays. I don't know what Parts A and B do, but apparently nothing. So you paid in the system all your life. None of that. none of that somehow seems to me to be used. I'm seen by the VA, and I paid their rates with my retirement. Again, though, this is different than what my husband does. For some reason, instead of doing his with the VA, he doesn't like the VA. I've been there all my life, so I love the VA and I love the way it changed it here. So he won't do that. So, but we filed separately for years. So it's just in our age group, if you, it's ridiculous the taxes are. They added a second death tax. I want to deliver that fucker in person. Don't you? A double tax on death. Let me please come back just for a little maybe a week or two or a month or so. Flip the chairs and throw the paper around. Oh, I have to mess with somebody. I would personally love to take that second tax to the government. Yes, I would personally love to do that. That's right there on my bucket list. I don't know if y'all have one, but it's kind of fun. I don't drive at night anymore. I'm not going to mention my age. It's a state secret. I think I already stated that. Um, but I quit driving at night. No one told me I needed to. It's just that my grandson and I dropped my husband at the airport here in Augusta, and we were coming back, and it was dawn, and I was having the worst time. I was doing like 5 miles an hour, and my grandson was freaking out. He's like 13. He's like, "Grandma, can you see?" And so I couldn't turn the car over to him either. I was like, "Barely, bear with me. There's something very wrong. It's about to get light, so I'm going slower so it'll be light." We weren't far from our home. We've lived here 15 years. And so finally, became dawn, and I left the lights on, and I could see. I went back to being able to drive. It's like, "Grandma, you scared the shit out of me." I said, "Yes, son. This is going to be Grandma's last attempt at driving at night because it scared Grandma too." Luckily, I'm out in the middle of nowhere at the airport. Nobody's there. It's 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And, I'm going around this the little donut, and dawn comes early. So, I mean, it was late in the summer. That was it for me about 5 years ago. So I quit doing that. Mm. And then I started on these because this is a real bar. It's a huge bar. In any event, one of my friends was up here, our friend, and he was smoking one of these. He said, "I got to try that. I got to try that." Being in Europe, you sold your Marlboro cartons. I smoked Salem. You would get Marlboros. You sold those. You paid your rent. I lived off post. You had a bottle of Jack Daniels, had a couple of cartons of Marlboros, and maybe some ice cream thrown in, and your money almost was paid for, and all that included utilities and everything. And no, they did not have cable. I loved being out there. It was on a farm, so I loved being out there. And when I had my son, and I had to move there from a hotel because we were waiting for housing. It was crazy. And so I'm in this little place, and the bathroom's outside. Thank goodness the kids in diapers at that point, because I'd have to carry him with me, and it was 5 feet of snow. It did have heat. You could turn the hot water on. But so you bundle the kid up, you'd shower real quick, can't like get a little, uh, race back inside while your hair was freezing. It was funny as hell. But I loved the place. Had a little BMW while I was over there. And the stick shift was on the column of the driving wheel. So it was, I loved it. I loved it going through the Blackwoods, all those times that I walked through there. And, you go into that fight or flight mode. I'm like running with the carriage in front of me. They gave me a preambular, uh, what is it, a buggy. They gave that to me while I was there because my son was only like 6 weeks when I moved in. And they were great people, bringing baby clothes that they'd stitched themselves, and I so missed them when I left. They were great people. They were like my parents. They were wonderful people. Took care of the baby. Um, if I had an extra shift or anything, I could ask her to watch him for 4 or 5 hours, and she would. And she said, "You work too much. You work too much," because I sometimes I had 14, 15 hour days. So yeah, my mother had an absolute meltdown when I came back to the States because I weighed like 78 pounds or so. I never slept. I never ate because I was in the army. I was working and at two jobs, and I had my baby, and I'm alone, and I'm in another country, so I was just worn out. Mother wouldn't even let me, do dinner or clean up for like 2 months. So because I came home, I went to my mom's. So it was, yeah, I had to have a break. Sometimes it's not that way. Sometimes it is in the military. You have to accept that if you're going to do both. And I did both. So I took that, well, I took a couple week leave and stayed with mom. Then I went back out. She wasn't happy, but yeah. So, time catches up to all of us. And we hippies, we used to say, well, I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. They can't do that. Or I'm not going to take the number. Do anybody know what the number is? I asked earlier. I got a little bit of time. Oh, no, I don't. Get to me next time. In organized religion, which one is the right church? Tell me that. Gotta go. My hour is a little bit past what it should be. So, God bless. May He take a liking to all of us. Amen. Y'all stay safe out there. Come see me. Throw it in the comments. And for God's sake, subscribe so you know when I'm up on live chat. See you later.